What do our clients really want? I mean, if we broke it down to the smallest common denominator, we're going to find some things that are really important to them and some things that aren't important to them. I thought we should talk about this in a video. If you haven't subscribed or hit the notification bell, it would be helpful because I'm losing with the YouTube algorithm. It just doesn't like me. And the reason I know this is because I will put a video about something. I'll put a lot of thought into it, but I won't take a lot of time with the editing process. Be pretty clear on it. Something like, what kinds of lights are you using? I'll have done several videos on this. And then I'll get a message from somebody who says, hey, what kind of lights do you use? I'm like, wait a minute, I just did a video on that and you didn't see it? Something's wrong. What's going on here? I'm titling them, I'm putting clickbait thumbnails up for you, and yet no one's seeing these videos. I don't know why YouTube hates me, but apparently it does. So if you could help me out, I'd appreciate that, as would the community, if you're finding these videos helpful. They're not for everybody. And, art is like that. I believe that great art isn't for everybody. Some people are going to love it, and some people are going to hate it. If it's okay art, most people can kind of deal with it, but it's not really great to anyone. It's okay. It's homogenized. I don't want to do anything homogenized with what I do as a DJ or a content provider. I try to make it interesting and helpful for someone. And again, none of this stuff is the gospel according to me. You can always take it or leave it. Now that I got that out of the way, I did post pictures on social media of the 5-par lighting setup. And I also did a video on it, which you may or may not have seen. It's on my YouTube channel. It actually did pretty well. And I got a lot of positive feedback, but I got some negative comments as well. And I'm going to try to spin that into a good thing. And one of the comments that I got was from a guy named John, who says, sorry, but a gig bar is lazy lighting. This is even lazier lighting. What I do when I get a comment like that is I try to take something that could be potentially a hostile exchange and try to spin it into something positive. And I've met some of my best DJ friends that way. Some of the most loyal people out there who have helped me out a lot with different things, just by trying to reach out with a little understanding instead of fighting back. It's like, hey, look, this is where I'm coming from. I understand your point of view and whatever. So here's the video, and thanks to this guy for making that comment because it inspired it. There's something I need to talk about, and I had a friend that hates it when I even bring this up, but it's relevant in this video. 14 years ago, I became disabled, had a stroke, had to rethink how I was going to stay active as a mobile DJ because the stuff that I was using was for two-handed people and right-handed people, and here I am, a one-handed guy in a left-handed world. I've got to rethink everything and make this adaptive. So that got me thinking about what's the most important things to clients. What things do they have to have that they need that I can't eliminate from my setup? And what things do they not care about? What am I doing that I'm just kind of doing for myself and no one else? And I didn't really know the answers, but I kind of suspected. When we used to carry backup equipment with us, like speakers and amps and such, you had to have that because if an amp went, you had no sound, right? But when it came to lighting, I typically didn't carry backup lighting because who cares if a light or two aren't working? Watch this, is funny. Knock the 45 off the shelf. It'll try again in a minute. It doesn't matter if I lose a light because no one's going to say, oh, my event was ruined because you didn't have this one light working. They're not even going to notice. So maybe all the lights I was bringing weren't as important as I thought they were. I could downsize that. Sound. I mean, yeah, I can't bring big ETX speakers to all of my events with 18-inch subwoofers anymore. But it turns out that smaller works out even better. And here's why. And I didn't really realize this until I had to do it. When I used to do weddings with big two-way top cabinets that were really aggressive, sometimes the seating chart would put grandma right in front of me. And grandma's looking at me with her finger in her ear. She's really mad during dinner because she's trying to eat. And I got music on. And no matter what I do, it's too harsh for her. The mids are harsh with the horns. And the couple who have requested the dinner music are way in the back of the room. And they're asking me, hey, how come we can't hear this dinner music? I'm like, well, because I'm like destroying grandma's brain with this stuff up front. If I turn it up, she's going to be in pain. You'll be able to hear it. But if I keep it down, you're not going to be able to hear it, but she's not going to be in pain. With smaller speakers, and even the arrays that I use, the compact arrays that don't contain horns, it's a different animal altogether. You can hear it all over the room, but it's not harsh anywhere. Smaller turned out to be better for social events, not for school dances, not for things like a rave or something. It's not a club thing, but it's a social event thing. Weddings, quinceañeras, company parties, birthday parties, things like that. Smaller turned out to be better. I did an event this weekend in a huge ballroom, and I brought Evolve 30Ms. And at first I thought, ooh, this is too small. Everything in my gut told me this was too small. But then I had to realize that it wasn't really about me. It was about the client, because what the client wanted to do was have full sound on the dance floor, conversation areas off of the dance floor, and at no time during the evening feel compelled to scream at anyone if they wanted to talk to them, be it on the dance floor or off of the dance floor. I wasn't even thinking about this stuff before I downsized. But my clients for social events really appreciate the sound that I bring. In fact, they compliment me on the sound, and it's unsolicited. I don't say, hey, how did it sound? They say, oh, by the way, you know what? The sound was perfect. The volume was great. Thank you so much. I didn't have to scream at anybody. Sometimes we've been to events where it really hurts and I have to leave because I got a stomach ache from this, but this was great. This happens all the time. And in no way before I was forced to downsize did I even consider this. But I learned it by accident. And it's the same thing with lighting. You put up these tripods with things on them. I mean, that's effort. And you try to do a tripod one-handed and then, put a heavy thing on top of it. I can't do it. I can't do it safely. And if I were to put together something that allowed me to do it, it'd be heavy and bulky. So you sit back and you say, okay, what about uplighting? People like that. Okay, cool. And you can make uplighting flash, change colors, fade. You can dim it. You can make it brighter. You can highlight architectural detail. You can make a dance floor come alive with wash with this stuff. But I don't have the lights that I used to, the heads and the FX things and all those things anymore. That's a bummer, but I can do this and I can do it safely. Maybe it's a compromise. Then you start doing it and it's like, oh, wait a minute. No, they dig this. And they're not getting any bright lights in their eyes. It's less effort and it's not unsightly. When you think about somebody putting together a nice banquet facility with decor and all the time and money they invest into this with centerpieces and chair covers and whatever they may have, and then look at your crap in the corner. Does it really complement the decor? No, it does not. So the less you have and the more inconspicuous you can be, the better. So no more tripods. Not for the speakers and not for the lighting, doing the lighting style that I'm doing. Those are some of the things that I discovered by accident. Now we got to talk about some of the things that the clients don't care about. What the client doesn't care about is how much time and energy you put into an event. They don't care how far you traveled. They don't care how long it took you to set the stuff up. They don't care what you paid for the stuff. They don't care. They don't care what you personally like either. They're totally not interested in that. If you don't believe me, think about the music you're playing at events. It's the music that they want to hear, not necessarily the music that you like or want to play. It's about them. So they don't care about your personal tastes. What they do care about is being comfortable. They care about quality sound and lighting. And don't confuse easy with lazy. Just because something isn't convoluted and difficult to do doesn't make it lazy. That means you've put thought, time, and effort into coming up with something that's maybe not as homogenized as what everyone else is doing. That's what I had to do. And in the end, by accident, I've got something that I feel like is a much better product for the client. So here's something that I feel like is interesting that I'm having a hard time thinking of how to articulate here for a video, but basically, in a nutshell, most clients won't say a word about anything until there's a problem. If everything is perfect and everything is going right, the sound's right, the lighting's right, people are socializing or dancing or drinking, laughing, having a good time, sticking around, the client may not say a word about that because they expect that. This was their anticipation walking into this arrangement that you made with them, that you would help facilitate this experience, which, by the way, is absolutely perfect and deserves praise because you pulled it off, but they don't say a word about it. However, if something's not right, they'll say something about it. If it sounds great, they're not going to talk about the sound. If there's a problem with the sound, they're going to let you know. They're going to tell you it's too loud, or it's too harsh, or it's tinny, or why are we screaming at each other? Could you please turn it down? Could you please do something to get them dancing? If the lighting is wrong, if it's shooting people in the eyes and they're in pain, I'm like, oh man, that light is really bright. Could you please do something about that light? And the thing about lighting too is that sometimes they're not even going to say anything about that. They're just going to be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be at this event. Maybe we're too old. Maybe we're just not cool. We can't hang with this. Maybe we should just leave. And they do. And people exit. Happens a lot. I watch it happen. In gig logs, I watch this happen. People post these gig logs of their light shows from the audience's perspective. And I notice no one's looking at the DJ or even towards the dance floor. Not that I want attention. I don't want anybody to look at me. But they're not even looking at the dance floor because it's painful to do so because they're getting shot in the eyes with uncomfortable light beams that are, quite frankly, way too bright. It's like being in the middle of the road and having a semi-truck coming at you. That light is uncomfortable. It's when you're driving down the road and someone has their brights on. You don't like that. You look away. It's the same concept of your lights are just not comfortable for your audience. If they are comfortable, they may not say a word. If it sounds good, they may not say a word. If your setup looks nice, they may not say a word. But if there's a problem, they may say something. And the other thing is, that I'll say in closing is, if somebody likes something, they may tell a friend. But if somebody doesn't like something, they're going to tell everybody. Please keep that in mind. That's my video, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate you coming in here and checking the videos out, liking, subscribing, leaving your comments, even if it's just, hi, Brian. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.